Welcome to Amaka Intellectual Factory, where I host podcasts and many other interesting stuff.
Government confirmed the deportations, adding that the 5 inmates were currently being housed in their correctional facilities in isolated units where similar offenders were kept, further seeking to assure the nation that their new arrivals pose no threat to the country or its citizens. Eswatini says the deportations were as a result of months of robust high-level engagements with the government of the United States.
Circulating reports that the Kingdom of Eswatini has received 5 dead country prisoners from the United States of America. The government of the Kingdom of Eswatini would like to clarify that yes, indeed, 5 prisoners arrived in the country yesterday from the United States, and would like to actually assure the nation that engagements that went on between Eswatini and the US, they considered a lot of aspects, including security risk assessments, to ensure that the safety of Eswatini is not disturbed as the prisoners are currently being kept in the country. What we'd also like to clarify is the government of Eswatini is that these prisoners are not here permanently, but they will be repatriated in due course to their different countries, working in collaboration with the US government and the International Organization for Migration.
Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin posted pictures of the 5 deportees, who she said had been convicted of various crimes from rape, robbery, murder, aggravated assault and battery. McLaughlin called them depraved monsters who had been terrorizing American communities, while welcoming the fact that they were now off American soil. Additionally, 8 men from a variety of countries deported earlier from the United States arrived in South Sudan on July 5th in what Juba called a gesture of goodwill.
On the 5th of July 2025, 8 individuals, including 1 South Sudanese, arrived at Juba International Airport following standard deportation procedures undertaken by the government of the United States of America. In line with its sovereign responsibilities and established procedures, the government of the Republic of South Sudan received these individuals through the appropriate national institutions. They are currently in Juba under the care of the relevant authorities who are screening them and ensuring their safety and well-being in accordance with South Sudanese laws.
I totally appreciate the threat that illegal criminal immigrants pose to America. I 100% support the Trump administration. But please deport Hispanics to Hispanic countries. Deport Asians to Asian countries. Deport Afro-Caribbeans to Afro-Caribbean countries. Don't send them to Africa. You have seen how destructive these people are in the United States, despite the United States having the best law enforcement in the world. So why deport them to Africa, where the African police power pales in comparison to the US police power? I know you're not trying to tear the African continent apart. Africans are a really calm people in comparison to Hispanics, Asians, Afro-Caribbeans, and even people in the West. I'm sure the White House must have noticed how calm the few Africans that visited the White House were. You will never have a Zelensky experience with an African leader. The nature of the African is gentle. These so-called wild Africans are not Africans at all, but either Afro-Caribbeans or Asians. Even the Nazis were looking into this, and God willing, I'll talk more on this on my channel. The Nazis understood the belligerent peculiarities of Hamites as being different from the Igbo Bantu, whom the Nazis preferred to identify as Orientals. Our skin tones might be a little bit darker than the Caucasian, but we are not the same people. Let me make this clear now. Afro-Caribbeans are not Africans. They have never been Africans. This is an old lie that must be destroyed. Afro-Caribbeans are very dangerous and given to Satanism and other devilish practices. The problem we are having on the African continent comes from the ancient migrations of Afro-Caribbeans, Hispanics, Asians, and even Hamites that took place over and over again, devastating that continent long before European colonial imperialism. This part of history can no longer be kept hidden. It's just like Pam Bondi would say, no longer. Till today, Haitians are criminally planting themselves all over the African continent and causing chaos all over that continent. It is these Haitian supplanters that are behind Igbophobia in Nigeria. Their favorite disguise is the Yoruba identity, but now they are boldly impersonating Igbo people. Haitians are doing this overwhelmingly, but other Afro-Caribbeans are also criminally planting themselves all over the African continent. This ancient conspiracy can no longer be kept hidden. You can't deport a violent people to a quiet third country. You will destroy that quiet third country. There has always been that ancient agenda to migrate Hispanics, Asians, Hamitic people, and Afro-Caribbeans to the African continent. This vicious weaponization of migration was the specialty of a cult of men the Igbos called Aro men. These Aro men were the ones primarily weaponizing migration in ancient times. Through studying, I discovered that the actions of Aro men go all the way to the Caucasus Mountains and beyond. Now they prefer to call themselves Aro men, but they are Aro men. Well, this is a topic for another day. So please, there are many Hispanic countries to deport Hispanic people to. There are many Asian countries to deport Asians to. And there are many Afro-Caribbean countries to deport Afro-Caribbeans to. Just don't send them to Africa. These are very rough people. And I know America is not trying to advance that ancient weaponization of migration. The weaponization of migration was something Russians were also notorious for. Honestly, the problems we have in this world are caused by the usual suspects. Once you open your hearts to accept the truth for what it is, everything will become obvious to you. Anyway, much love to the Trump administration. Well, that's all I have to say for now. Until next time, take care of your lovely selves. And remember, life is beautiful and worth living.